Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York, Werewolf Venue. After meeting with Contemplates the Mercy, Blitzkrieg, and Chases the Storm, Danica put herself in a position where fell to her to deal out the Sept's decision on the enforcement of the litany. The young Cliath is understandably nervous as she comes to the dojo, seeking out Alicia. And taking a very heavy breath, she opens the door and steps inside and begins to look around for the child of Gaia known as Alicia Haywood.
Alicia will be busily battering the stuffing out of one of the punching bags.
Danica will watch this, and she'll close the door just loud enough so that way it's not being slammed, but enough that Alicia knows that somebody's in the room with her as she slips her boots off at the front door. You know, those things are an awful mess when you rip them open.
Yep. Considering I spent a large portion of the last few weeks fixing this place up for someone who then goes and does things behind my back and treats me like a child, I know exactly what it is like when they get ripped open and the stuffing goes everywhere.
Fair point. I guess asking you how you've been would be kind of a pointless endeavor at this point, wouldn't it?
Pretty much. How have you been?
She kind of just sighs really heavily and shakes her head. Between my mundane work and things going on in the Sept, I sort of feel like I'm overworked, overtaxed, and generally speaking, in need of a very long soak in a very hot bathtub.
See? I feel that, but I also feel like half of the stuff that I try and do to help the set, to help anyone that I know, gets blocked by people that I'm trying to help. And that I spend half my time not even doing the various different things that would leave me run ragged from doing them, because I have to spend my time running around making sure that everybody sees me jumping through these special little hoops that nobody else has to jump through.
She gets a very apparent look of trepidation across her face as she goes and finds one of the benches along the mirrored wall and sits down and pats the other side of it. She's sort of sitting on the bench itself with a leg on either side. Um, that kind of is one of the reasons I'm here.
Great. What is
Come
it
and
now? You want to convince me to go against everything that I've been told to do and tell everybody all the secrets and then basically, I don't know what.
the secret of your Cairn thing
Yeah,
with the
that one.
mutants?
Dr. Mega told me you knew about it.
I have known about that for a while. And for a long while, it was a reason that I was very annoyed with you. But with the advent of Black Unicorn patroning it, um, there's nothing more I can really say on the matter. If a totem spirit is willing to look after that,
I've
with
been
all the
trying for months to
circumstances,
get a totem spirit in, but Chases the Storm was always too busy, and We were never sure what to do about whether to make it an actual cairn or whether to put in a guardian spirit. So, another thing where I end up having to run around jumping through hoops rather than actually getting things done.
I honestly feel I wish I had known about the circumstances earlier. I could have saved a lot of time and effort on my part for trying to ascertain something.
Well, I told you that it was something important that I needed to look after. I told you that it was something I couldn't tell you about and that the Sept elders knew about. But of course,
I
why would
have a
anyone
very.
trust someone who's actually honest about various different things?
Have you ever heard the term somebody who's that nice slash honest is usually hiding something?
The only thing I have been hiding, I have been fully honest about the fact that I'm hiding.
It's more of a figure
Okay,
of speech.
maybe one other thing, but that's nobody's business anyway.
She's again gonna look up at Alicia and offer the seat across from her.
She's going to sit down.
There's a lot of stuff going on right now. Most of which I'm sure you're aware of to a
Yep,
point.
great big umbral storm that nobody seems to be doing anything about because they're too busy telling me I shouldn't hang out with mages. At least the mages came up with some ideas about what to do with it.
I've been recruited by Bites the Air to assist with that, so hopefully we can deal with that soon. Um, but there was a revelation that came to us regarding your conduct, and it's something that has to be dealt with, and that's why I'm here. And rather than beat around the bush and try and sugarcoat things, they know about you healing the worm minion.
You mean the human that I found bleeding on the floor and did not have time to go asking a bunch of questions about who they were? And I mean, think about it. It takes if someone's going to bleed out in the next 10 seconds, are you going to spend the next 2 minutes discussing whether you should heal them or not?
That depends on how much you value human life.
Yes, well, I value it a lot more than quite a few people, it seems. We're
And
supposed
some,
to value humans. We're supposed to value wolves. We're supposed to value life in general.
and in doing so, you healed a minion of the worm.
Well,
Alicia,
I'm
I'm
not the
not.
first or the last person who's made an accident. And I agree. Fine, I need to be punished for that. But the amount of punishment I've taken for every sodding other thing that I have done to help this sept, that is a completely different matter.
She actually reaches out for Alicia's hand. And if it's not taken, she withdraws it with a sullen look.
She'll let Danica take her hand, but she's not. There is a certain amount of reluctance there. She's like, "What the frig do you think you're doing?"
I can imagine. She just kind of gently squeezes it. Look, I see in you a kindness that I haven't seen in a garou in a very, very long time. I see in
Um,
you a warmth that only I've seen out of my sister. And I can appreciate that in you. But at the same time, I see a naivety in. I probably butchered that word, but anyways, I'll keep going. Out of character. Um, I see a naivety in you that could get you into a lot more trouble than even you realize. I don't claim to be an expert of the war. I don't claim to be an expert of our people. But I have seen well-meaning garou fall because they did what they thought was right at the time, and it didn't turn out well for them.
You know what? I would rather keep that warmth, keep that dedication to doing the right thing over the popular thing.
I can respect that. And it's one of the reasons why when they discussed punishment this evening, why I spoke up. They're going to perform a rite of satire on you. They're
Yeah, because
going.
they don't do that already every day behind my back.
This is more in the spiritual sense. They are going to bust you down in rank. And it's up to me to see you redeemed. I volunteered for this.
Yeah, bust down the person that's actually, fighting for this sept, doing their best for this sept, trying to help the other members of this sept. I mean, do you know how I ended up in that situation in the first place?
Danica holds up both her hands and just kind of waves them softly. You're.
I was going to help Travis. That's what I was there for, to help Travis. That's what Jericho was there for. But Aaron, he just bumped into us there. Not entirely sure how or why, but he didn't show up when Travis asked him for help. He just bumped into us there through luck of the chance, being the right place, whatever. But he wasn't there to help Travis with it, with dealing with the curse that he got from the changelings. His own pack weren't there to help. I was. And you know how I ended up finding the cairn? The node, actually. But it's complicated. Do you know how I found that? By helping someone get rid of a bane. By helping people.
I don't think anyone can refute your actions about the cairn that you found. If a totem spirit's watching over it, then that's all anybody needs to look at you and say you did the right thing.
But that doesn't stop people from trying to judge me and to punish me for hanging out with mages.
Because at the time, how could you know that a mage...
No, not even just the people who didn't know. Even the people who do know about the cairn, who do know that I'm there with the mages, that I'm there working with them, and that they are helping me. And that we are both against the worm. That even the people who know that, they give me a hard time about spending too much time with the mages.
Prejudices are very hard to break. And there's a reason that mages have the reputation they do among their kind. You know that as well as I do.
And I've tried warning the warden about one of them, one specific one, that they have warned me about that might be a problem like this, and that Black Unicorn mentioned that might be a problem. I tried warning him about that. The perfect person that we could ask the mages for help to help us find this person who is a threat to the various different sacred places in the city. But no, they'd rather ban me from seeing people and ban them from seeing me, then actually try and do something.
As regards to Jericho,
He's not the
him
threat.
him being away from you right now is what's safest for him. Apparently, you told Blitzkrieg about a rite that could make him kin, correct?
Yes.
If he were to prove beyond a shadow of a doubt that he could be trusted, then that might be something they're willing to look into at some point.
If
But
he
right
could prove.
now, you have...
If he could prove.
I look at Jericho and I see a wild card. Something we cannot completely account for. That's the difference between kinfolk and everything else out there.
He's risked his life to help me, to help this Sept.
And if I were someone trying to deceive you, I would do the same thing. I'm not saying that that's who he is, Alicia, but it's who he could potentially become. We don't know. We can't account for that.
We never can.
Trust.
We can never know anyone.
And that's why
There's Garou that I would trust significantly less than Jericho. Plenty of them.
I can sympathize with that, but we have ways of dealing with our own.
And kinfolk, I mean, a couple of months ago, admittedly, it wasn't actually the kinfolk, but I heard about these things called skin dancers. You honestly think that, we could ever be entirely certain none of the kinfolk would do something like that?
It's happened before. There's no way to say it won't happen again.
Precisely. So why is it only ever me that has to jump through these hoops?
Because we have ways of accounting for our own.
No, that's not it. Because there's a whole bunch of people that are quite happy hanging out with the changelings. Nobody seems to care about them or their love lives.
Either Fiona or they're stupid, one or the other.
Or both. Quite frequently both.
She kind of mouths Travis when she's like nodding her head and kind of rolling her eyes. Yeah.
But, hey, I'm the only one that's concerned about that. And I'm concerned about that because they keep hurting him. But Jericho hasn't been hurting me. If anything, he's been the one that's been hurt by the Sept, by the people in it.
That's why I advised him to stay away from you for now.
It's why I'm finding myself driven away from the Sept.
Look,
I will fight for Gaia, and I will fight for the Garou nation, but I will not have the Sept telling me who I can and cannot be with. You want to go with the litany? Fine. That has a reason to it. But beyond that...
Do you think every werewolf in the nation follows the litany to the letter?
No, because there's goodness knows how many metas.
That's true.
But of course it's me that gets in trouble for hanging out with a mage.
All I can attribute to that is a pattern of behavior that they're concerned about, that I'm concerned about, Alicia. And my reasons for being concerned about it are different than theirs, I'm sure.
But they're wrong.
Gaia only knows, Alicia, that I don't follow the litany to the letter. I deal drugs for a living. I hurt people so I can get close enough so that way when worm-tainted substances are being distributed around, I'm the first to know and be able to be in a position to put that down.
Like I said,
I'm not.
everybody in this set seems determined.
You're the only one who's opened their mouth, or the only one that's been so blatantly open about it that they have cause to mistrust you.
I'm the only one that they shouldn't be mistrusting.
And in doing that, you've created something of a paradox. Because by being so open and honest, it's jaded people against you. Hell, before a few weeks ago, I thought that you were breaking the litany and keeping it a secret in a conspiracy with the higher-ups of this Sept.
Because like I said,
Not everybody's going to take
honesty is the worst possible thing that you can do, because
It is.
everybody is fucking everybody else over. The whole nation seems bent on attacking each other rather than on fighting the actual bad guys. So, why trust someone that's actually being honest? Why trust someone that's actually telling you the truth? Why do that when you can judge them and then go and do worse things yourself?
Because unfortunately, people don't trust the brutally honest ones.
No, because unfortunately, people are quite happy going and doing the worst things themselves.
I think that if you had not divulged your interaction with vampires so publicly, if you hadn't alluded to what was going on with this Karen, if nobody had ever known about it,
If
and
people
then
weren't hypocrites,
that's life, Alicia. That's everything in existence, whether it's a mage, werewolf,
that's an
whatever those things
excuse.
in the Bronx
That is an
are.
excuse, and a pathetic one.
It's no less true. Tell me I'm wrong.
Going, I should be a hypocrite because everyone else is a hypocrite. And I should be a liar because everyone else is a liar. Nobody gets better from that.
And yet
Nobody improves if all they say is, these other people are doing bad things, so I will do bad things too. That is the worm. That is what we need to combat. But no. Why deal with that?
Danica sighs and sort of rubs the side of her head. I didn't come here to refute things with you. I understand that you feel how you feel, and I know I'm never going to change your opinion on that. But I thought that coming to you and telling you directly might take some of the bite out of it, and that you're not alone in redeeming yourself in the eyes of the elders.
I'm not even sure I want to redeem myself in the eyes of the elders. I'm not sure I respect them enough if this is their attitude, if this is the way they treat me for trying to help them. And I know you're saying that the rite itself is related to the mistake that I fully admit was a mistake. But if that was the only thing they were punishing me for, I would accept it. But we both know it isn't. We both know that they're punishing me because of their guilt, of everyone else's guilt, of all the things that people do and they don't say about. That's what they're punishing me for being honest.
I
for having
understand that.
integrity.
Growing up in the tribe I've grown up in, I've found that integrity is a nice and warm, comforting thought. But in practice, so rarely does it ever really. Integrity won't help you in the face of the worm, I've found. And that's a
You're
jaded
wrong.
worldview, I know.
You're wrong.
I wish I could agree with you there.
Because integrity is the only thing that stops you from becoming like it.
I suppose on that we're just going to have to agree to disagree. But it's not the point that I came here for. I'm willing to help you. I want to help you. And if you...
And I want to feel like it's worth doing in the first place. I want to feel like it's worth even bothering to try to get the respect that I really have deserved for quite a while. I want to feel like it's worth proving myself to these people that
That's
could
something
give a damn about me.
if people didn't give a damn about you, I don't think we'd be having this conversation, and somebody much higher ranked than me would be coming here to tell you what was going on rather than try and explain it to you. Your sister under the half moon. And it's why I want to help you. But I'll give you the options you have in front of you. You can try and refute this, but the sentence has already been cast. I don't know how much you can do to change their minds.
Because of
You
course,
have
it would just be too respectful to a fellow garou to have spoken to me before making this judgment.
who? Blitzkrieg?
No, the people actually making the judgment.
No. She puts both hands on the surface of the bench. So you have that option. You have the option of taking the satire rate and working your way back up through the ranks again. With help. Somebody with a vested interest in seeing a Philodox raised back to where they should be.
I should be higher than I am.
The third option is that you run. And it was discussed. Alicia, if you don't feel that the Sept is a place for you and you run, all I can say is that Gaia be with you.
I'm not going to run. I'm not going to run from them. They don't deserve it.
I don't need an answer from you tonight. I came to let you know that you're not completely alone in this, and that you have options in front of you. I don't see a bad garou when I look at you, but I see one that lets illusions of integrity blind them to how the world works.
No, you see someone that lives up to how they think other people should. That's what you see. I know full well what people choose to think about me. That doesn't make them right. I know full well what people choose to think about mages. That doesn't make them right either. What you see, as I said, is not delusions of integrity. It is integrity. It is not delusions of thinking how the world might be. It is certainty in how the world should be. And that sinking to the level of how things are does not make them better.
And that's where I differ from you, I guess. Because I draw a line between how the world should be and how it is.
Oh, I know full well where that line is. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't try and move it. That is what all of us are fighting for. To take the world from where it is, from the worm taint and the weaver taint, and make it at least a little bit closer to how it should be. That's the entire point of the garou.
It's a warm thought, but I disagree with you there. I think we have to win the war first. We have to beat the enemies of Gaia into submission first. And then we can rebuild it the way it needs to be. The way it should
And how
be.
will we rebuild it the way it needs to be if we have become just like them?
That's the $64,000 question, I think. I think that's an answer that we've all been striving for a very long time.
The answer is simple. We can't. We have to be better. We all have to be better than that.
Most of us can't be. Not after the things we've been through.
You can. You just need to believe that you can. Just need to decide that you can. That it is worth it to be better. That it is an end in itself to be better. To fight for the good in the world.
I'll tell you what, Alicia. If you take this right as it's being presented, if you're brought back down to your foundations and then have help putting everything back together, I will try and teach you as much as I can, so that way maybe you don't have to give up on your morals, but at least you know how you can guard yourself from this situation in the future.
There is no way to guard myself from the situation in the future. Not unless I lie and hide myself and generally become who they want me to be instead of who I am and who I want to be and who the world needs me to be. Unless I give up on my responsibilities to myself, on my responsibilities to Gaia, on my responsibilities to the world as a whole, Because the thing is, it's all very well and easy to just get along with things and hide who you are, and but if nobody is willing to make that stand, nothing will get better. As I said, I truly wish that I could respect the elders after this and want their respect back. I'll take the right. But every single thing that is flung against me will make me. It will just show the pettiness of the people saying it. I am struggling. I am struggling to care about this sept beyond the fact that I don't want to see it destroyed. To care about. I'm struggling to feel like a part of this sept in any way, shape, or form.
Do you think me petty for feeling how I feel about these things? All illusions aside, all niceties aside, I've laid it out very plainly for you how I feel about everything.
I think you're naive. Not petty, but naive in thinking. I mean, you think me naive for how I feel the world should be better. And I think you naive for not believing that it could be. For not seeing how you could be. And for thinking that being less will help anything be more.
I learned through experience a long time ago that this war that we fight is never clean. It's never going to be clean. At least not until it's over. I have done too many things that I'm not proud of, but I've seen the results of what they've garnered. I gave up on integrity and that ideal a long time ago, because I knew that in order to make sure that there was still some part of this world that could be clean, I'd have to put my hands in the muck.
I'm a gardener. I'm not afraid of manure. That doesn't mean that you let it become who you are. You put your hands in the muck, but when you take them out, you wash them.
I honestly
You don't
wish I
become
could.
part of it.
I truly wish, Alicia, that I could believe that and take that to heart. I really do.
Like I said, I wish that this wasn't a pattern from them more than it is a pattern from me.
Danica just closes her eyes and looks away and just nods. I'll let you know when they call it moot. And I'll stand beside you when they render it. As far as I'm concerned, from that point forward, you have a clean slate. And maybe you don't have to change who you are, but you can find ways to go about them better than you did before. Maybe you can be a little bit better than I was when my world came crashing down around me. Not in the same sense, but when I did things I didn't. You'll be fine. You'll be better. Danica pulls out her cell phone and sets it down in front of Alicia. You can put your number in there, and I'll put mine and yours if you want. You can keep in touch with me.
She nods. I'm sorry if I took out everything on you, but it feels as if the entire Sept has betrayed me, time and again, and will likely continue to do so.
I don't think that's necessarily in your future.
Like you said, the best way to prevent this happening all over again is to lie.
There's lying, and then there's guarding the truth. It's a distinction that I learned growing up. Sometimes the truth is best played like pieces on a chessboard. And that certain truths people aren't ready to hear. Or they shouldn't hear.
Perhaps, but the truth of who you are, if you lie about that, the lies more often than not become the truth.
Maybe. Maybe you'll end up, if you follow a path like that, you could end up like me, jaded, and just beyond the point of caring about the right things that should be done versus what needs to be done.
No, if anything, they'll push me out of the Sept.
I think if they wanted you out of the Sept, they would have just done it.
No, they are pushing me out of the Sept. That's not their plan. Their plan is for me to be a chastened and obedient little girl that they can mould into whoever they want to be and breed off with some nice male kinfolk guy and start having a personality of my own. But, as I said, I have integrity and I have no intention of giving that up, which means that they're pushing me out of the Sept.
Danica just pauses for a really long time, and then stands up, taking her phone and putting it back in her pocket. There's not a lot more I can say about that then. I'm here to help you on your way back. But I hope you see that the way you've done things, as righteous as they are,
There's only one thing that I've done that I consider a mistake. Only one. And that might be the official excuse for this. We both know it's not the real reason.
it's the reason you're being punished.
It
at
isn't.
least on paper.
Like I said, it's the official reason. We both know it's not the real reason.
The words pattern of behavior were brought up.
Like I said, there's as much pattern, if not more, on their side than on mine.
Danny just nods and I'll be in touch, okay?
Alicia will nod.
And she turns on her heel, making her way back to the door and putting on her boots. And as she steps through the door and closes it behind her, she leans back on it and lets out a very succinct but no less profane string of curses in French, quietly to herself before making her way back down towards Fifth Avenue, trying to find a place where she can get a very stiff drink.
And Alicia will go back to knocking the stuffing out of this punching bag. And there the scene will end.